Hello, my name is Karen Gondoli and I am the CEO of LeoStream. And today I want to talk about something that LeoStream really excels at, which is helping you manage high performance workloads and ensuring that users always have access to the applications and the data that they need to get their job done while ensuring your organization is secure. So first of all, why is this so hard to do? HPC environments, high performance compute, whether you're media and entertainment, oil and gas, government defense, engineering, what have you, these are complex workloads that your engineers and creatives are working on, whether that's for simulation, rendering, visualization. You have a suite of what are essentially very expensive resources that are all GPU backed. And you want to make sure that those GPU instances are being leveraged in an optimal way. The teams that are using these resources tend to be dispersed, and the instances themselves could be dispersed. You might be working across multiple clouds, a little bit in AWS, a little bit in Azure. You might be hybrid with your infrastructure, so you have some on-prem and some up in the cloud. You could just be working across one cloud in different regions. If you have teams scattered across the United States, for example. But you have these complex workflows and you have users who must have high performance connections, but you need to make sure that providing that high performance for your end users doesn't compromise the manageability and the security of the system for your IT team and organization. So how does LeoStream help? Well, LeoStream provides that centralized access for these environments. And it really is more than just access. Obviously, access is important, so we do connect users to GPU-enabled instances, and those can be located anywhere. You can have cloud, you can have on-prem, it could be racked workstations, virtualization. To us, to LeoStream, it is transparent. And it's not just transparent as far as where the resource lives, it's transparent to the operating system that's running on that resource. So if you have Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever operating system you need to run the applications your users need, LeoStream can manage access to those resources. And then I said it goes beyond access. Really, there are a number of different ways in LeoStream that you can automate provisioning, power control, scaling out environments so that you can ensure that users always have the capacity they need, whether that's more compute in the cloud or something else. And then you also make sure that you're turning off instances when they're not in use. You're terminating instances in the cloud when they're done. LeoStream has this policy-based automation so that IT can ensure that users are productive while not having to sit there and manually power off machines to keep the cloud costs in control. We do have access for the three clouds that you see here, AWS, and that means both EC2 and Amazon Workspace's core managed instances. Those are great options for you if you're also looking at needing Office 365 applications alongside the HPC applications your team are using. And then we have support for Azure. We have a really simple way to spin up a POC environment through the Microsoft Marketplace for Azure. And then we support Google Cloud and obviously, as I said, the on-prem HPC clusters as well. So I've talked about access and I've talked about provisioning, but you actually have to get the users connected to those machines, and you need to do so in a way that gives them the performance they need no matter where the user is connecting from and the type of applications they need to run. And in LeoStream, we give you many different options for doing that. We have a number of partners that we work with to provide various different high performance display protocols. And then what you can do is choose the right one based on the user and their workload, and you can mix and match them. So perhaps what you want to do is use Amazon DCV when you're connecting to instances up in Amazon. That's a great option because the licensing for DCV is included with the compute up in AWS. So you can use that in AWS, but then perhaps your on-prem workstations you want to connect to using PC over IP as part of HP Anywhere. Another option, which we see a lot in the energy sector, is Mecdyne TGX. These are all wonderful protocols that you can use for these high performance workloads. And LeoStream does also support just what we call commodity protocols. So RDP, VNC, if you just have a user who needs to do a quick connect to something, grab a file, then you don't need one of these high performance display protocols. You can use something else that either is low fee or no fee, for example, RDP into a Windows machine. So what this is yet another way to control costs in your environment because you can license appropriately these different high performance display protocols. So to just show a little bit of it in action, I'm going to show you the end user experience because that is the most important thing. If your end users aren't happy, you're going to have bigger problems. So here I'm logging into the LeoStream web portal as an end user. And what you can see is that I'm actually offered 3 machines. One that is going to be connected via DCV, one PCoIP, one TGX. And to me, it's transparent where these live. One might be on-prem, one could be up in the cloud, one could be in a different cloud, and then underneath the LeoStream platform will appropriately route my connection seamlessly through the LeoStream gateway to the right resource. You'll notice I'm also offered some machines that are stopped. If you're running this up in the cloud, you don't want the machine running until the user necessarily needs it. So I can give users options to come in here and start their own machines, maybe reboot them. While that's powering on, let's go ahead and connect to something. So here I'm logging in with Amazon DCV because this actually is, in fact, an EC2 use instance. So there it's launching the DCV client, and I get a nice single sign-on process in to my machine right there. And you'll notice I logged in using a username and password to this LeoStream environment. We do support MFA for that username password login. I just didn't have it for this demo. We do also support SAML logins into LeoStream, so sort of that passwordless use case where you come in to LeoStream via your corporate IDP, which could be Entra, maybe Okta. And what we are putting together, which will be released shortly, is the option to have the single sign-on for those passwordless SAML options as well. So that's just a DCV connection. I lost my web client. If I come over here, you can see that I can launch PC over IP, and this will launch the HP Anywhere client and connect there. I didn't put a certificate on my PC over IP servers. That's why you saw that. Now here for PC over IP, unlike the DCV where you had that really nice seamless user interface or experience with no more typing in of passwords, here I do have to type the password one more time, and then it will log into the session. Now I happen to be logging in all to Windows here, but as I mentioned, this does work against all the different operating systems that you might have or need. If you want to give it a try, if you need more information, you can reach out to us at sales@leostream.com. Thank you.